Thank you very much for joining us once again back at the Troll Desk. Carlos is joining me as well.
Nice. Nice.
We just saw, representing the Liverpool shirt there. Sadly, we did lose 3-1 to Aston Villa. It happens. It happens to the best of. It happens to the best of teams. We always lose.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Who do you support then? Which team are you?
From England?
No, Spanish team.
Real Madrid.
Oh, you're a Real Madrid as well. Oh, so you're not doing so good either.
I guess better than Liverpool, I would say.
Probably better than Liverpool, but we're not backed by the royal family. If the royal family, if the monarchy backed us, I think we'd be doing a bit better than you guys. But nevertheless, we're here for League of Legends, not football.
I don't do analog sports anyway. I don't understand the appeal.
And I wonder if there's a Reddit thread on StarCraft 2 right now, because Red Eye is there as well. I mean, a StarCraft 2 host at a League of Legends event, ladies and gentlemen, this is front page stuff. This is front page stuff. You should get that post down there. If you're not already, get over there and do it. Give them StarCraft mods some fun. But nevertheless, we are here at the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. It is going to be CJ Entus versus CLG coming up next. But before we go into that, let's have a recap of really what happened yesterday. So if we look at Group A to start with. I mean, Group A was really the story of Fnatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Fnatic stomping everyone pretty much. They played their own style, and they stomp SK Telecom, they stomp Millennium, and they stomp Mousesport.
And actually, if I could just jump in real quick, the one game that we did not show yesterday was the game of Fnatic versus Mousesports. And if you look at this, at the standings here, you'd say, oh, well, that must have been the clearest game. That was actually by far the closest game that Fnatic had. There was a very, very nice invade move that Mousesports did there at level 1, where they invaded blue and then pincered the two-man lane of Fnatic. And their two-man lane actually was a Jace Taric combo. And apparently they went 8-1 in the laning phase. So
4-1.
4-1? 4-1, okay, but still, it's
8-1 is a bit hard.
Well,
level 1.
That's what they said, but maybe they liked it.
No, not at level 1, in the whole laning phase.
Yeah, in the whole laning phase, the entire laning phase.
The
entire bot
level 1, 8-1, they had to have 3 revives.
They run all the way back.
3 revives, 3 teleport.
No, I meant at the lane, the Jace Taric lane when...
What are we doing?
The other one.
So,
one by one, they just keep going in, keep going in.
It's been working.
It's like solo queue right there.
But anyway, the point is that Fnatic did manage to come back from that. So that was Mouse almost getting a little respect victory there in the end, but it was not meant to be.
It was not meant to be. And SK Telecom Team 1, also known as Reaperton Boys, managed to qualify through as well. So they are second place. So Group B, which is what we're covering right now, that is, of course, we're seeing Meteor Makers are topping that group now. They have 2-0. We are about to see CJ Entus versus Counterlogic Gaming Europe. Of course, that could well be for a place who will be second place. And really, that's a place of who will face Fnatic. I mean, that's a tough position even if you qualify. Meteor Makers, of course, looking like they're most likely going to face against SK Telecom. So that's going to be a juicy game. Of course, these semi-finals and final will all be happening tomorrow. So, CJ Entus versus Counterlogic Gaming. Big game. This is probably the biggest game of the group now because everything relies on this one. This is the second place decider.
Well, it may not be. I mean, Meteor Makers may still lose their game.
We could have a 1-2 situation. Yes, very tricky though.
It's possible, but let's assume the way that things have been going, the polls are unstoppable.
You're assuming the alternate beat CLG there for that to happen.
Right, exactly. That's not very likely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Mokata said it in his interview. Yes, they do want to play against Fnatic, but they do want to play against Fnatic in the finals, not in the semi-finals. So, yeah, Mim definitely going to try to take this. And this is going to be, like you said, most likely then the place for the game for second place. I don't know. For me, it all comes down to how much CLG EU can shake themselves up, wake themselves up again and say, boys, you know what? We actually have to try hard this time.
And you know what? CJ Entus could still actually top the group. They could physically top the group still. Because if they go ahead, beat CLG here, and they're playing Meteor Makers in the last game. If they go ahead and beat Meteor Makers, they're going to top the group. Because they'll both be on 2-1.
That's true, yeah.
Still possible, still possible. Lots of possibilities, of course. But we are into the picks and ban phase, and, well, we are seeing pretty much what we expected. Singed, Olaf, and Lee Sin. Singed, of course, was played top lane by CJ Entus in the last match. And Nivea being banned out. What a shock. And Orianna, of course, the Nivea being left open by Meteor Makers. They didn't pick it.
On the last game here, CLG had an Nivea open, Froggen had an Nivea, and he didn't want to pick it.
And I have to point out, CJ is not banning any of the gimmicky bruiser mids that Froggen has been running. No Jarvan ban, no Lee Sin ban. Lee Sin ban, of course, coming from CLG, and of course...
We have the first pick of Saya.
First pick Saya.
Actually, we have open already picks like Diana, picks like Evelyn, picks like Katarina, and Evan picks like Rengar.
Yeah.
So we have pretty much everything open, I will say. There you go, Snoopy.
But
He's not watching the camera. That's not funny.
Yes.
Someone tell Snoopy has
he's
to
not
watch
giving the
camera.
stare. He can't do the stare while he's doing the picks and bans because it's him that mainly leads them. Interesting that CLG banned out Lee Sin.
Yeah, I don't know, they had first pick as well, so if they think it's very important, maybe they have something else in mind. Maybe they have another strategy in mind where they cannot first pick Lee Sin.
Also, we have to say that Insect,
yes,
the jungler of CG, is probably it's famous for being the best jungler in Korea, one of the best junglers in Korea. So probably it was the reason why they banned Lee Sin.
On Twisted Fate for Dade in that mid lane.
And I have to say, lots of people on Twitter that are familiar with the Korean scene have been saying, I mean, most of all, GG Monte Cristo, of course, has been saying, what is this team and what have they been doing to CJ Entus?
Where have they come from?
Exactly, yeah. So a lot more respect for them now, but let's see how they fare against the CLG that is definitely going to take this one very, very seriously.
In fairness, the group they're in is Katie Rolster B, Azubu Blaze, and Najin Sword that are above them. So I mean, let's be a little bit fair against the group they're in.
I didn't actually follow that
It's a pretty tough group, and they are fourth in that group. They're not. There's 6-7 teams in that group, 6 teams I believe. But Malphite looking like he's going to get picked. That's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a pleased Wicked. I mean, when I was at IPL 5, I went to lunch with these guys just after they lost to. I think it's just after they lost to WE, yeah, it was after the big epic game, the game 2. And he said then, I never want to play Malphite in another tournament because they had such a bad time of it at DreamHack with Malphite. He's just like, no, I don't want to play it again.
Well, Ara, what reasons would you have as a team captain to force somebody to play a pick?
Oh!
Malphite, I was going to say over earlier, but
Snoopy.
it's not going to be a top lane Malphite. It's going to be a jungle Malphite then.
That's super high engaged. It's like Malphite going in, Rumble ultimate, and that's so bad
Zyra
CC.
ultimate as well.
Exactly. But the initiation is like Malphite ultimate, Rumble ultimate, and that's so much CC to someone. It's pretty much, it's not a instant kill because it's jungle Malphite. The jungle Malphite is used for the CC, not for the damage. But still, it's so high damage, so high CC on one target and even 2 targets.
And you do have people like Caitlyn and TF who are going to be squishy, and if you can land that ultimate, you don't need to have the big damage in the Malphite ultimate. As long as you lock up Caitlyn long enough for the rest to get there, that could be a teamfight decider.
Yep. Well, if you know that's coming, what are you going to run? A against Rumble top lane and B against that jungler?
Jax is super safe pick. Jax is probably one of the safest pick in top. It's fine against Rumble, pretty fine, and then you have the time to run in with your Q.
New Caitlyn.
You can Q on a minion, you can run away from ganks. Even then, Malphite ganks are not really strong.
Oh, and there is the Lux. So
that's something I really like.
So I just spoke to Fnatic Cyanide a moment ago, and he said, well, our strategy against CLG is basically make sure they don't get Nivea or Lux, so they can't wave clear after wave after wave after wave. And then generally we have ideas how to beat them. That's the only thing we don't know how to beat. So the Lux on Froggen could be very strong. And what are we thinking about that Varus pick here?
It's actually the most played Tam by Yellowpit.
Really, yeah.
Yep, he's playing Varus all Season 3. He's like probably 40 games with Varus.
But he's already strong in Season 2.
Yes,
so not too much change for the idea, I guess.
Oh, and Diana. Oh, could be. He's thinking.
Go, Diana.
The other thing with the Lux is the only thing you have to do is you have to fish for Qs. You just have to keep throwing out those Qs. One single Q hits, you go in, you eradicate that champion, and then you take some advantage, some buff off of that. And that's just very, very strong.
But we know what Froggen does when Froggen farms. He continues farming in that mid lane. He'll push that mid lane, and if Twisted Fate does go looking for those ganks, he's going to get punished to lose that tower in the mid lane. It is the Zed patch, but I'd be amazed if we see it. I mean,
Zed jungle?
Nunu jungle Zed support? I don't know.
Oh, it's Zed jungle.
Wow.
Or probably Zed top.
What? Oh, Jack's jungle.
Jack's jungle?
Okay, so
and it's Zed jungle.
Zed jungle, which immediately makes Snoopy leave the game and go, holy moly, I need to change things quick.
That is, of course, not allowed. I must have been some other reason, probably some bug or something. Oh, okay. Some observer wasn't in. The observer from the Russian stream was.
Of course, we are running multiple languages for this. I think it's 13, possibly maybe more languages for this event. Intel Extreme Masters. Of course, you also have the point of view you can watch. So if you get yourself onto the website, of course, you're all watching it anyway. But there is many ways of watching this. There's a point of view you can watch, literally the player's point of view in the game, and his audio as well, I believe.
Yeah, and
the team audio.
And last game we had 13K viewers on both of the POV streams. So a lot of people want to see this. So if you actually want to see where they're clicking, where they are looking, check that out. So
of course, the flip side is you can't see the whole spec mode, so you don't also listen to the beautiful tones of Joe and Jason.
That is true, yeah. Well, you just have to have lots of screens at home, or use one of those fancy little multi-streaming.
Multi-streaming.
So it's esl.tv/IEM. That gives you the overview with all of the different POV streams as well.
Yep. So of course they are playing for $50,000 here. You can see them going through the picks and bans, whizzing through it once again there. Kropo, Yellow Pete on your screen. Snoopy, thankfully not staring at us. We'd be in trouble if he was. You can also see the ESL admins off in the background, as well as Wicked's forehead just peeking over. He's a tall chap.
He is very tall. Almost as tall as James from the other commentator.
But
James big legs.
Him, yes.
As it is, we are just waiting to get things underway. What are we expecting here? Who do you think is going to take this one? So we got some interesting picks coming out from CJ Entus. We talked about how they like to throw things out there, some pretty crazy tactics. The innovators, as it were. Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfires horribly. What will it do this time?
Well, first of all, I see CLG.com. I see CLG.com.
Do you see CLG.com?
Yeah, I see it, and I feel like Rumble, Lax, and Varus works, and Syra, works together with a lot of synergy. I mean, the four heroes, they have a lot of range. You have Rumble ultimate with one of the highest ultimate range of the top laners. Then you have Varus Q, Varus ultimate, you have Syra E, you have Syra ultimate, and you have, of course, all the Lax abilities. They all have a lot of range. You can poke a lot. But then you have Malphite, it's most like a go-in hero. It's more like a go-in and something like Diana to kill someone fast. So that's something I don't really like on CLD.com. And on CG Entus combo, I don't know how Zed is gonna work. I know it's one of the fastest jungle, it's really, really strong jungler, but I don't know how it's gonna gank. I don't think the ganks are really strong. I tried and I don't think it's super successful gank.
Just to give you a little bit of the mechanic overview, the way you want to gank with Zed is you want to send your shadow forward, then trigger the E for the slow. We'll have to see how Insect does it, of course.
The most important question, of course, will be how strong they're going to be in late game, because we know that's where CLG are going to try and take it. So without further ado, let's jump into the games. It is going to be Joe Miller and James. Long legs. I love you, Kaplan.
Totally didn't tell him to say that in the chat before the game, Jason. Not whatsoever, not once, not a single time.
I wasn't looking at chat.
So here we go, CLG versus CJ Entus. CLG fighting for survival here in Group B. And to my knowledge, the first time that we've really seen Zed in a big tournament as well, Jason.
Yeah, and if you running jungle, which make that which we're interested. But Insect, I mean, like they were saying in the expert desk, he's one of the best junglers in Korea, and he's going to show how well he plays at his ganks. I mean, ideally wouldn't be too bad since he does have that W to switch places, but as Arne was saying, he didn't really have too much success with him.
Well, currently CJ are in the CLG jungle down on the bottom side. I'm going to say a lot of CLJ. I'm going to say that right now because it's going to throw me off a little bit, that's for sure. They put that ward down there, and also the trap coming out of Caitlyn in that curve bush as well. But for now, looking like they're just going to settle back, starting off here with Zed on that blue buff. Over on the other side, you can see the bottom lane of CLG already headed down there to get that golem start. Looks on Froggen in the middle there, and it looks like they're going to have a pretty standard Wolves into blue buff start.
And Joe, we were talking a little bit during the expert desk, and we were mentioning how CLG, their composition, I mean, they have a comp that will erase someone if they hit him with all the abilities. And for CJ Entus, they have a really, I mean, they have Jax and they have Zed on top of that. You have Twisted Fate who can really make impacts on lanes, but who do you really have to win this game?
It's hard to call. CLG, you know, they were dominated by Meet Your Makers. There's no real other way to say that, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no PC way to say it.
Without risk of being lynched here in the studios with the massive amount of CLG fans that we have. This is, you know, the most important game up until now from them, obviously, because if they lose this one, they are pretty much guaranteed, or they are guaranteed to go out. They can't then get those 2 wins back that CJ and Meet Your Makers would have under their belts from now on.
Insect, sorry, look at him. He's actually, knowing that ward was there, running around the other side just to sneak into that red buff. This could be really deadly for Wicked, where they, I mean, we said in the last game, they camp him. Anyone camps Wicked, they kill him a couple times, and it sets him really far behind, but that is such a great play out of him, and it's just showing why he's an amazing jungler.
And also interested to see Yellow Pete, as RNA said there, is a very highly played champion by Yellow Pete. He certainly knows how to play Varus. So it'll be interesting to see how that bottom lane goes. We are now seeing Zed coming in here. Let's see if he can manage to get in on towards Wicked. I'm going to keep him up in the bottom left there so you can see what he's skilling, because I'm sure a lot of people are still really interested to see what Insect is going to spec like here on Zed. But Wicked may have some trouble, as we are going to see Jax go in. The counter-strike not going off. But Insect going in. He's got the slowdown from that red buff. Can they finish it off? The Ignite is burning, and Wicked goes down. First kill for Jax. And I said this in the last game when Vayne got the first kill, like these hyper carries, you want to limit them in what they can pick up in this early and mid game to slow their late game dominance down. And giving first blood over to Jax is going to mean a horrible, horrible time in the top lane for Wicked on Rumble. But again, that whole strategy, get in, get Wicked out of the game. It's worked already time and time again for other teams against CLG. Will it continue to work here for CJ Entus?
Well, you know, RNA was saying that Jack's very safe pick for this top lane, and like you're saying, hyper carry, if he gets some kills, he's going to be dominating that lane, and Wicked, I mean, I have to feel bad for him, because every game I ever see of him play, he gets camped non-stop. As we're seeing the bot lane Crepo, I mean, down to half health, and like you also mentioned, Yellow Pete playing a lot of Varus, and even RNA mentioned to me the other day that we should see that. Going to eat a trap there just to make sure if he runs away, he'll be safe. But actually in the, well, not the Korea meta, but over in Korea, I remember hearing that a lot of Kate Noon is being played. I believe Notch and Sword was the first one to do it, and with that, they just push towers extremely quickly, though CJ Entus going for something a little bit different here, and yeah, look at that. Insect camping that top lane.
Yeah, Wicked again going very low, and he's going to be forced to go straight home without picking up a single minion on his return back into that. And it really wouldn't surprise me to see Insect come back once again once he realizes the Wicked is back into this lane. I mean, he's got himself a ward now, which he'll probably be scared of even putting down with the way that he's being camped here by Insect on Zed. But so far, this bottom lane, like you said, bit of damage being exchanged, a couple of roots coming out from Crepo, we've seen the snowballs, and you know, that range from Caitlyn really being the biggest problem on towards Crepo up until now. But the CS there, 33-26, early game lead for Caitlyn. Hey, Caitlyn is that quite strong champion at the early levels as well.
And Yellow Pete actually leveling up his Hail of Arrows, his E, because of Caitlyn having so much range. He needs some sort of harass, some sort of form of that. And by leveling up, he's able to do that. And he finally did take 1 point in Q. And Joe, as we were mentioning, you know, taking a look at Zed and what he's leveling up, we should probably take a look at his items too, because he went with Bootsman Ability as his first item. And look where he is again.
Going straight into this top lane, and guess what?
Look at no
it's
flash.
It's not warded, and he's not got a flash, and he's going to walk in there. Here comes the counter-strike. Actually, not timed perfectly there, but they're going to get on top of Wicked nonetheless. There's the slow from Insect E, which he is actually leveling up first here. Can't quite get the finisher, though. But talking about finishers, do they really need a finisher? Wicked's out of lane. He got 2 CS this time around.
That's quite a bit for him. No, but still, like, they're camping him so hard. Long Panda, I mean, that was a kill, and yet they kind of messed it up a little bit there, the counter-strike not landing. But now, I mean, how do you go against a Jax Spirit as Rumble, and then a Jax who has 1 kill and has a huge level advantage over you? He's going to be level 5 very shortly. Wicked, he's been back 4 times this game. One of them's because of a death, having such a hard time right there, picking up another ward, because he needs ward that the river, like you were saying before, it wasn't warded when Insect came in. And they are keeping a really good eye on that, as you do see that ward in the top lane.
Yeah, and Wicked got another ward now. Needs to kind of put it down somewhere in River, because Zed has just been coming up there, not through the Tribush that they have warded for up until now, but through the other side. Snoopy not really been too active in this top lane. I think it's more about, from Wicked side of things, them telling him, play safe, don't get caught out, and you will be all right in this top lane. But it's 38-10 CS, as if that first blood on Jax wasn't enough. He is massively winning the farm race in this top lane so far. Bottom lane, Caitlyn did come back in with a Vamp Scepter and a Doran's Blade. Varus Doran's Blade and upgrading to those Berserker Greaves. Obviously wants to get those points of blight out as quickly as he possibly can if they get in towards a fight. But either way, a pretty quiet stage of this one. The junglers went back in for a little bit more farm. But really, I think Snoopy has to get a bit more involved here with Malphite, as we are going to see the Twisted Fate ulti coming into this top lane. And guess what? It was on Wicked again, who's having a horrible time. If you thought Demon was a bully in the on the expert desk, well, they're pretty much camping out Wicked like nothing that we've seen for quite a long time. And that's funny because someone said actually on Reddit, I read about it, I hope Long Panda doesn't get bullied in this top lane again. Well, it's kind of working the opposite way around this time in the middle lane. Ensec is taking a lot of damage here from Froggen, who doesn't have that final spark up and available. I still want to call it by its old name because
Finkelton's something?
Finales Funkeln.
Yeah. Which
means final spark in German.
Oh, there you go.
I still want to call it that. Especially since we're in Germany, I think I'm well within my rights.
Yeah, that's true. But Snoopy, you're completely right with what he needs to do. He needs to start ganking a little bit more. He needs to get involved. But he will be 6 very shortly. When that happens, when his bot lane is level 6 on top of that, Yellow Pete and Zyra, or sorry, Yellow Pete and Crepo, that is going to be such an easy lane to gank for them. We do have Cleanse on space, but it won't really be enough. As Kinch has Flash, has Exhaust. But with that Malphite ultimate, it's so devastating against your team.
Yeah, and that's probably the whole reason why Snoopy has been spending so much time in the jungle, is just to get as quickly as he can in towards that unstoppable force and then get involved in and around the map. As we are going to see him possibly coming in for Twisted Fate. No, he's going to go straight into the opposite side of the jungle. Sees that the big Wraith is there. Oh, he's going to take it out. He's just going to wait there. Probably waiting for Twisted Fate to make a bit of a step to one side, and there we go. Unstoppable Force comes down the leash, and there is the ultimate coming out. Can they finish him off? Ignite is burning here, and Dade will go down. It's Lux that picked up the kill. The crowd here going a little bit wild with it as well. Like I said, a lot of CLG EU fans here today in the studio in Cologne, and that will bring us back to 2-1. But Froggen picking up a kill could become vital for them later on.
Yeah, in the meantime, Top and Long Panda just pushed Wicked out of lane again a little bit, forcing his Flash to be used. And his Flash, I don't even think it's been up for longer than 10 seconds, except in the beginning of the game for him. But we do have Twisted Fate. His ultimate could be out very shortly, so we could see another gank in the top lane. As you do see Zed just holding it right there, and his build going towards, it looks like a Brutalizer or potentially a Phage. Not really sure which one he will end up going for, but they have a really heavy assassin team, not really tanky. So with what CLG has on their side, being able to erase someone off the enemy team, they could easily win these team fights, no matter how far behind Wicked is.
Yeah, but if he's fed Jacked up, that's a real problem, depending who the kills end up going for, even if he gets camped out and killed over and over again. We are actually seeing their Twisted Fate moving towards this top side of the map. They do have a ward down here, so they've seen that he's moving over towards that range. Zed. There's a lot of pings coming in. Zed is coming down. Here comes Twisted Fate as well. He'd actually pulled the red card, which won't even matter in the slightest. There is kill number 2 for Jax, and kill number 3 overall for CJ Entus. Perfectly executed, not missing a beat. And Wicked was in a hard position there because he saw that Twisted Fate was here, moving in range to use that ultimate and get up to him. But he started to move back, and then you've already got Zed coming around the backhand side of him as well. So just not a lot that he could really do there to stop that happening, Wicked. And he's almost out of this game now.
When he saw that TF ultimate, he's like, ugh, come on. As he can die there eventually. Yeah, but the thing is, his ultimate is really where it's key. If he gets that slowdown onto as many members as possible, CJ Entus, then you have Varus, you have Zyra, and you have Malphite and Lux on top of that. Like, they will have the damage, as we did see Froggen pick up a kill. So if anything, they still are easily in the game. He has an easy large rod with that Chalice. We do have Snoopy sitting around this middle lane again. Ultimate just came back up. Twisted Fate currently no Flash, and this could be another kill in the middle lane. And yeah, here it goes, Joe.
Yeah, we are going to see that binding land, and there we go. Ultimate coming out from Froggen, and there's a kill onto Dade. Froggen and Snoopy setting that one up brilliantly. And that's the thing, if you don't see that one coming, you've not got much of a chance to escape from it, let's be honest. As we are seeing there, Yellow Pete and Space just going back and forth with the damage. CS down there, 89 to 94. Obviously switching up as they are still in that farming stage. So, pretty even down this bottom lane. No kills, no deaths, no assists for any of them down there. So it's going to come a little bit later on, but Yellow Pete starting to do a good chunk of damage now.
And that's what, I mean, if they can win this bottom lane, they'll have their mid and bottom, fed. We talked to RNA, actually, the first day we were here, and he was saying, the AD carry is probably the easiest champion to carry in solo queue just because of how much damage you can do. As long as your team can protect you, it'll work out very well. And Yellow Pete, he's doing pretty well. I mean, considering Caitlyn's range, he's keeping up in this CS, has those double Doran's Blades and that Vamp Scepter. And with Crepo, they easily could go for kills if Snoopy wants to visit it, though. He's been sitting around this middle lane, trying to get Froggen just a little bit fed since he is very bursty, doesn't have a lot of sustained damage. They're going to need him pretty fed.
The bad thing is for Twisted Fate in the middle is that the ultimate of Lux pretty much comes up in the time that he dies, respawns, and comes back to lane. So Froggen can just constantly do that to him. We do have an Oracle now with Snoopy, which is only going to help him get involved across that map even more.
Showing his match is that he actually hopped over that wall, not being spotted by a ward, trying to go in for a gank on middle, it looks like, and Snoopy will catch him.
Yeah, Snoopy going to spot him there. Pings his position down, and Insect decided can't really get anything from this one. So that you're going to have to deal with that Froggen Lux for a little bit longer in this game. Rumble is coming down, because
he can't do anything on top lane.
They're like, well, let's do Dragon. Let's try and claw some of this gold back that we've been losing through the pretty much entire game. I mean, it's what, 1,500 gold difference now in favor of CJ Entus. 3 of them waiting here on top of a ward. So with Wicked missing, they obviously know that something's probably going to go down around that Dragon area. Snoopy's got unstoppable force up. In fact, ultimates are pretty much across the board up except Wicked. So they could go for this one and get that Dragon, or they could do a 5-man dive onto that bottom lane, or they could steal away the blue buff.
Or they could do both. I mean, there's no point in leaving that top tower up anymore for Wicked. He just doesn't have the ability to farm it anymore. So if they do take that turret, he can at least freeze the lane and get some sort of farm back. But yep, you're very right. They are going for Dragon off of this, and that will get Wicked a little bit back into the game. I'm surprised to just not see any GP10 on him with how far he is behind, because we all know how strong GP10 can be when you are losing your lane.
Can you afford an in GP10?
Can you afford it? I mean, not at the moment.
I mean, look at his CS. Or look at his lack of CS, which is obviously more important to this whole thing. 9,900 CS to 40 there. And this tower is going to go down. They're going to try and counter that one with taking this bottom tower. Obviously, that Dragon has given them a lead now in the gold, but they've lost that top turret. And CJ Entus not really reacting too much to this one, but obviously they do have Twisted Fate, who can come around whenever he wants to. Zed was just waiting off in the wings there to maybe track Froggen going towards Wolves or whatever for that extra farm, but CLG can't quite get in and take down this bottom outer turret. In the meantime, Long Panda is just hammering away on these creeps. He's now level 10 to the level 8 of Wicked. He has got a Phage and probably about 2,000 or 1,500 gold to spend now the next time that he does come back. And Wicked has, after all that, finally come back into the lane with a Ruby Crystal. Like, that's just how far he is behind. We talked about the GP10. I think he wants to go GP10.
No, he's going hunting, guys. He's going for that penetration.
Yeah. Yeah. But he needs gold at the end of the day.
Yeah, he does. But the thing is, with Long Panda, we saw Reaper doing this from SK Telecom, pushing that top lane over and over and over. And in the end, he was able to actually carry his team because of all his amazing counter-strikes. Just Snoopy going for Wolves here, actually going to be spotted. If he loses Oracle, it's going to be really bad for CLG.
Oh, he's going to walk straight in there. There comes the counter-strike down. He's going to unstoppable force away. But Twisted Fate not having any of it comes in. Here comes the ulti out of Froggen. Actually managed to get the kill. Crepo coming in will knock them both up, but it's not going to be enough damage to take them out. Wow, flash away from Insect there. Didn't want to get involved as Wicked did put his ultimate down. But CJ Entus, a bit of a risky move. Dade going to pay for it with his life, but they've got rid of that Oracle on Snoopy, which could be a crucial thing in the coming minutes.
Yeah, it really will. We do have Yelp in the bot lane actually getting pressured very heavily. That turret getting very low as we have the rest of CLG pushing that middle lane. And yeah, the Oracle, it's going to be so crucial. They need to deny a lot of vision, and Wicked just needs he needs that protection, that top lane. And unfortunately, not going to be able to get it here as he does. Well, he lands one harpoon, but doing no damage to Jax, and that, like we were saying before, is a huge problem.
Oh, there's Insect just getting a little bit low. Froggen landed the binding on him at pretty much full range.
Oh, he has ulti up. I would love to see him just snipe him at the moment. But he did that a lot of DreamHack.
Yeah.
Played amazing Lux at DreamHack, but they are pushing this turret. They actually should be able to get it. We do have Twisted Fate coming in. We'll be able to clear the wave pretty easily. Jax just scaring them away right there. Snoopy ultimate not up for another 50 seconds.
Oh, binding has landed. There comes the ultimate. How is he going to die? Yes, he is. And it's Wicked that picks up the kill thanks to the Ignite. That's a much-needed chunk of gold for Wicked, to be honest with you.
Only problem is now he's worth more gold if he gets killed. Just a downside to it, yeah. But they should be able to get this tower, though, and it will help them get back into the game a little bit more. We have Insect there. Not really tanky with that Brutalizer. I was almost expecting to engage there. But Snoopy ulti in 15 seconds. Dragon not going to be up for a little bit longer.
And I still like CLG's combo here. I mean,
it's an amazing combo.
Once you get everything, if everything falls into position, it's so much damage so quickly, especially if that laser gets 2 or 3 people in it as well. Like, just so much damage that can come out of CLG if everything falls into place. On the other hand, if it doesn't fall into place, they could end up losing a fight pretty heavily, but they've taken this outer middle turret. That's actually going to be their first of this game, a crucial turret to be taken as well. And the Dragon is up at 1940, so still 2.5 minutes to go until that one is in play. You see more wards being put down here by CJ Entus, the pink one around the blue buff. And also here on this bottom side of their jungle as well, just to keep that vision as high as they possibly can. Let's have a look down the CS there. Top lane, as we said earlier on, going badly for Wicked. 117 to 56. In the jungle, 130 to 72. That's a big lead for Zed as well. Middle lane, though, Froggen winning that one out, 178 to 136. 80 carries, bang even, 148, 147.
Well, the difference between the junglers is, I mean, yeah, we will see Zed with a lot more CS because that's how he has to do it. He's a DPS jungler. But Snoopy's a support. He relies on his GP10. If you look at total gold, he's sitting at 4,600 to the 5,500 of Zed at the moment. So not really that far behind. But if anyone can pull off their ultimate combos correctly, it's going to be CLG.
Oh, and here we go. They're going to go in there. Twisted Fate going to dive. There is a Zyra ultimate, though, but it doesn't really make that much difference. Froggen going to be shut down, absolutely exploded by that CJ push. And we talk about how Twisted Fate is also obviously most useful in that laning phase, getting around there, snowballing your other lanes. But we're seeing him utilizing it here at this stage of the game where they're fighting 5-on-5 to do some really, really great play, which is going to be key. You know, moving in where there's no Zyra ultimate for number one, or as we saw in yesterday's play, being low enough where Zyra can just put a plant on your head and take you down. I think that video is doing the rounds on Reddit right now from yesterday. But that leaves us with 5-4. CJ got the kill advantage, 2,000 there or thereabouts gold lead. But this is definitely not a game that you can call right now.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're 19 minutes in with how much CS Jax has. CLG is no way out of this. We have Frog in the mid lane, 183 to the 146 on Dade. And that right there just shows that they easily have a chance. We have the bot lane being pushed here. Yellow Pete should be able to take that turret and make that goal lead a little bit quicker. And you know what's funny? Both teams have gotten the other team's jungle more than they've gotten their own. Or sorry, their blue buff than their own.
CLG are spotted here by that pink ward that was put down earlier by CJ.
Oh, Jax is heading down.
Jax coming down for that one. Dragon going to be up in around about 10 seconds time. So CJ not wanting to give this one away. They've got a ward down there in position. And they are going to ping it. There is Baron coming back into the game. Jax here has been spotted in middle. But CJ putting a pink ward down. That's going to reveal that CLG actually have no vision of that Baron pit itself. And are they going to try and sandwich them in here? Doesn't quite look like they'll be able to manage that one off. There goes the ultimate out of Caitlyn.
Oh, nice shield out of Froggen right there. Pretty much nullified all damage on top of his. And we do have Cripple's ultimate finally back up, so we could see the major engage that we've been waiting for, Joe. And CLG easily could take this with their combination.
Dade's ultimate is going to be coming up here in just a second. Dragon already down to half of its HP as we are seeing Long Panda coming in. Snoopy looking for an opportunity to get off that unstoppable force, but they're coming in. Insect is behind them. Insect is going to be doing a lot of damage here. He will get knocked up by Zyra. Here comes the laser over. Gets one kill. They've not quite finished off the second. Wicked going to be chased down here by Space, but they need to be careful. They're still coming around. Froggen picking himself up a double kill. There's the root landing onto Space. He is finished off by Yellow Pete, and CLG will take a 3-for-1 encounter. Great play out of them.
I feel like a prophet a little bit there, Joe, but that was amazing play out of Snoopy. If you notice, he waited on his ultimate. He didn't want to rush it, and because of that, they caught Insect in the back, they caught Jax in the back, got a double knock-up combo with Crepo, and well, as you saw right there, 1 for 3. They're going to take that any day, and they are easily and very well now back in the game. Froggen doing amazing work, 5-1-2, 204 CS, has that death cap, and is working towards that. I think it's in Holy Grail very shortly. And unfortunately for CJ Entus, I mean, Snoopy alone just shut down that whole assassination they were trying to pull on, well, Yellow Pete on a Crepo. Oh! Ooh. Almost gets him. Was that blind?
Yeah. I was going to say, how did he even know he was there?
That's why he's a good Lux, Joe.
I mean, he killed the last minion like here, so I guess Froggen was just like, well, he probably just went straight into the bush there, so why not have a try? Did actually land it on him, but unfortunately for him, and unfortunately for us, didn't quite land that kill, but great blind shot coming out. But it's 1,000 gold still in advantage of CJ Entus. Turrets also in their favor as well. Jack's already got that Trinity Force finished though. Zed, Bloodthirster brutalized on those boots of mobility. Twisted Fate got the Sheen in, and the Abyssal Scepter is already done.
This is a problem that we're seeing, is that CJ Entus, they camped Wicked, yeah, but Froggen, look at him now, 5-1-2. Yeah. They didn't really gank him at all. He ended up getting wards eventually just to stop the Zed from doing it. But yeah, you can gank Wicked all day, and most teams do that, but you still leave Froggen open, you still leave Yellow Pete open at the bot lane, and those lanes can easily carry the game, even if the top lane dies.
Yeah, and I mean, CLG are used to having Wicked camped out of games, that's for sure. So, you know, I guess from Wicked's point of view, it's like, well, if they're coming for me the entire time, then they're not coming for their AD carry or for Lux in the middle there. So I'm sure they're still quite happy about that, even though he is a mile behind on CS. The danger there is that Jax is obviously the one that really benefited from all that, and has got that Trinity Force already finished there, and is already building his way up towards that Guardian Angel as well.
Yeah, but we saw Froggen now, even with how tanky Jax is, just naturally with his passive, he almost pretty much one-burst him down. I mean, obviously not exactly all the way, but got him very close. And well, obviously Counter-Strike's not going to help you too much against magic damage.
And Yellow Pete actually has started to build a nice CS lead here as well, with that turret being down. And has got himself up to 208 compared to the 177 of Caitlyn. Zed here still farming away in that middle lane. Wherever he can really pick anything up, he's quite content to. Yellow Pete has just gone home. Going to be almost finishing off that Phantom Dancer now as well. Obviously, had the Bloodthirster from earlier. Caitlyn got the Infinity Edge, got the Zeal up towards that Phantom Dancer. And this next fight, going to be a big one. Dragon at 26 minutes, so about 2.5 minutes from now, we'll probably be seeing another play down there. That's where most of the action's really been at up until now. Besides, obviously, that top lane.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I mean, if you're CLG right now, they are currently behind in gold. I mean, they're winning these team fights, though. What do you want to do right now? Like, what's the end goal? Obviously, Baron, not really going to try to go for that. They want to force team fights. They don't want to make sure they don't make a mistake and, you know, maybe do a turret die that ends up going very badly for them.
Well, they've got one of those comps where they can catch people out. Like,
yeah.
You get the root from Zyra, you get the binding from Lux, you get Varus, who maybe even would use his ultimate if he needs to hold someone in position. And then you've got Snoopy, who, you know, can always come flying out of this bush, that bush, pretty much every bush with an unstoppable force to really throw your teamwork into plan, throw a spanner in the works. As we just see there, space, binding, plus the E coming out, and there is a laser. Oh, he's netted away from it there, Space. That was very, very close stuff. Froggen almost sniping another one down there. He has been definitely on form with that one.
I think I peed myself a little bit on that one, Joe.
Not as much as Space did.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Poor guy. We do have Krepa, though, and he's building into the standard Zyra build with that Nisolar Draw going into his zonage right after that. Because Zyra surprisingly does a lot of damage with those plants. It looks like they might even be trying to set up for a potential burn or just you know, spot it with that plant so they have no wards at the moment. We do see Yellow Pete finish up that Phantom Dancer. It's going to make him that much more stronger, especially with the Blight Sex like we were talking. You know, he wants that extra attack speed just so he can proc that as much as possible. But CLG, I mean, still looking very good. We have Wicked. He's catching up a little bit, I guess. I mean, he's not falling much farther behind. He still is keeping up and does have that, Chain Vest done. And curious to see if he's going to go for Abyssal Scepter or actually go for a GA because he needs to get tanky with how far he was set back.
Well, we see Zed off towards the side, trying to put a bit of damage out with the Shuriken. But still, CLG looking for a way to get in here underneath this turret. I mean, they've got a decent comp to push them out with that Varus Q and the E, to be honest, and with Lux as well, who can throw a lot of damage their way while they try and hold on towards these turrets. But let's see how this one goes. Bit of damage being done. Root actually lands there onto Jax. Not quite having the binding coming out in time there from Froggen, though.
They're running against time, though, because Jax, I mean, he almost has his GA done. He has 3 pieces of it, just needs that little bit of extra gold for it. And when he gets that, I mean, it's really hard for CLG to lock him down, but face taking this turret right now, trying to get as much damage as possible. Snoopy Sunfire Cape not really going to care too much about that turret hits. And they should be able to get it on this next wave if they want to commit to it.
Yep, next wave coming in then. There are a couple of traps down there that they need to avoid from Caitlyn, but they've successfully managed to get in there. Leveling us up now with turrets. They're still 1,000 gold behind. 2645 in there. Dragon is available as Wicked getting a little bit caught out there, but they've got no vision of CLG. That was the real problem there. So they didn't know if they were just going to get jumped on. You can see CLG here waiting. They are going to push around. That middle turret was trying to be taken. Kinch takes the shard from Snoopy, but where is the engagement coming in? CJ Entus not bunching up. That's the real crucial thing against this team comp that CLG have got going. Don't bunch up, as we are going to see Long Panda going in there. Virus Ultimate actually didn't connect, which is bad news for CLG. There's the Unstoppable Force. There's the Zyra Ultimate. It knocks 2 of them up. Will it be enough damage coming out of CLG here, though? Froggen is going to take out Nunu. Can they get any more? The laser not connecting. And, well, Twisted Fate, I didn't even notice him here, off towards the side. He's going to pick up Zyra, but that will give a double kill over. And now maybe they'll even get more space, going very low to the queue of Yellow Pete. Well, that will be a 1 for 2, and CLG, like you said, winning these team fights.
Yeah, and that's all because of Snoop. He's being so perfect with these ultimates, just like we saw Libic earlier on Sona. He's just waiting for the right moment, hit the exact perfect targets. Unfortunately, the Zyra ultimate didn't follow up at the right time, but still, he got the attack speed still on Long Panda, got it on space. And, I mean, that's why they won that fight single-handedly. Not to mention Froggen picking up a double kill could have helped a little bit.
Yeah, 7-1-2 he is now with Lux. And after that, Dragon sat on almost 2,000 gold to go home and spend. Phantom Dancer finished for Yellow Pete as well. And Snoopy and Wicked also going to go home with over 1,000 gold each. Is that Dragon really out? There's the needlessly large rod coming out of Rumble. 39.5 to 39.3 thousand gold. So now CLG finally have taken the lead in the gold itself. And we see a Guardian Angel on Froggen. That's even worse news with an Oracle coming in as well for Snoopy. Are they thinking about Baron?
I don't know. I mean, I was just thinking about the G on Froggen. It's not a bad item, obviously, because it gets you back up in the fight, but he's not been in a position to get caught this entire game. Maybe the little bit of extra damage would save, you know, Yellow Pete from getting caught. You see the Lux ulti going right there, but Baron, I mean, when they have their ultis up, we're still waiting on Kreppos at the moment. Froggen's obviously just used, and Snoopy coming off cooldown right now. They are a little bit scared, though. If they group up against Long Panda, if he comes in with that counter-strike and lands it on all 5 members of CLG, they shouldn't be able to really win that fight, as long as, you know, space stays separated away so he doesn't get hit with that Malphite ultimate. But Zed, I mean, I want to look at his abilities. He does have 5 points in his W and his E. Has that Bloodthirster and Brutalizer. Has a Negatron Cloak and a Chain Vest. He's kind of building in each direction because he needs to be able to survive against his teams because they want to run a heavy assassin kind of combination, but they are getting shut down here.
Yep, and now Jax might have a bit of trouble in the middle. Snoopy waiting in the wings, does have Unstoppable Force back available.
He's so patient.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to be in. You saw in that last fight, it was a case of tanking the damage until they felt that they were in the right position for the Zyra ultimate and for the Malphite ultimate to both come out in the correct position to be winning them a fight. So CLG have to be strong enough, in my opinion, to be tanking through that. And that's maybe why Froggen also going up towards that GA, just so that if they do end up coming into focusing, but the team aren't in a right position, then they may go for it. There is the Oracle, like I said, on Snoopy. They're going to take the ward out of Baron Pit. Are they going to set up for something now?
They saw Zed backing. You saw that ping right there. They catch Long Panda.
Yeah, binding coming in. Zyra, Virus Ultimate came onto him as well. Can they get in to finish off? Snoopy is working his way around. Will get slowed though, which is going to stop them going in there for that Unstoppable Force. Actually, Caitlyn ultimate thrown out. Krepo being a good guy, trying to stop that one. Twisted Fate though is coming in. Here we go. We're going to see kickoff. Ultimate comes out of Rumble. Where is the Unstoppable Force already used? The Zyra ultimate will knock them up. Krepo is surely going to die. Yes, he will. Snoopy burning from the Ignite will be saved by a shield from Froggen. And there actually is another binding coming in. The Q from Varus as well.
3
going
seconds.
very, very close. Let's watch Froggen, see what he can do with the laser. There he goes. And it's just a little bit off to the left of Dade. And that will be a 1 for 0 in favor of CJ Entus. A crazy, crazy game. Look at the kills. 9-8, 3-3 in turrets, 42.5 to 43, 42.5 thousand gold to 43. 1.3 thousand gold. So ridiculously close still in this one. And still, it's all about who gets the positioning and who gets, you know, their ultimates generally off in the right place.
That's why CJ Entus went in. They knew Snoopy's ultimate was down, which was the key factor in that. They used everything they could on the Long Panda, who escaped with that leap strike. And they ended up, I mean, even though they got 1 kill, didn't take any deaths, you saw how low CJ Entus was because of that fight. And that is always a good sign for CLG, knowing that without their full lineup being used in the correct order, they still can win these fights almost.
Nunu currently does have an Oracle on, just clearing out there by the back of the Baron pit. We have a Guardian Angel now finished off with Jax, which is naturally going to make CJ that little bit less hesitant to let him jump in and get those fights underway. Twisted Fate ulti will be coming off cooldown here pretty soon, so wouldn't surprise me to see CJ really head off into a big fight. The point is they want to try and get Zed around the back from this one, as we are going to see them push it in. Zed actually off to the corner. There's the ultimate coming out, blocked by Snoopy, who, you know, it didn't really dent him, as we are going to see Long Panda getting hit there by the root, but the Varus ultimate actually missing him as he leap striked away. CLG now forced to back off somewhat. Is Twisted Fate going to get involved in this one? Another root landed on Jax. And back and forth. Tug of war, really, in this middle lane with those minions. And Twisted Fate, in the meantime, is just farming.
Even though he's farming, he's still way behind Froggen at the moment. And I mean, his presence, he's trying to split push just to keep CLG from pushing down that mid lane. But well, surprisingly, it's working. CLG's been a little bit hesitant to engage on the 4 members of CJ Entus, knowing that he could teleport in. And if they don't kind of blow him up, which, sorry, they have the ability to, even though he has that Zhonya's. We see Space picking up a Last Whisper, and he doesn't need to go for that Fan Dancer right off the bat, since we see Nunu on his team giving that Blood Bowl and that attack speed. And that is going to make it really easy for him to take out Snoopy, who's obviously going to be diving in for him and wanting to target him with that Ground Slam.
So no Baron as of yet. 33.5 minutes in. Don't forget, if you just joined us, CLG lost their first game to Meet Your Makers. This is game number 2. And also, if they lose this one, they will be definitely out of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne.
And likewise, if CJ Entus wins, they'll be moving on. Yeah.
Right, they'll be 2-0 as well in the group.
So both teams fighting for survival, pretty much. We do have an Oracle on Nunu, and as well one on Snoopy still. Lilith going to be spawning in a second, and we also have Dragon coming up very shortly too, Joe. Do you think we're going to see a play on it? Yeah. They really want this game. And do you think we're going to see another Dragon, or do you think they're going to ignore it and potentially try to contest this Baron?
Well, to be honest, the gold is that close still. When you're talking about approaching 50,000 gold, I mean, 1,400 is definitely not that much gold whatsoever. So a Dragon is certainly going to be important in this one, as we've seen GA number 3 on the map coming out, and that is with Varus for Yellow Pete. And Dragon is up. And, well, they'll take it really quickly at this point, which makes it even more important, in my opinion, to be taken down, because it's just a case of getting taking it away and then moving on to make sure that you've still got control over by Baron. Meanwhile, Twisted Fate is still down there, and that's the thing. If you go for Baron now, Twisted Fate can't get in there that fast, because he can't ult it that far.
And one thing is, he was staying hidden in that bush just to see where CLG was, and now he sees him in that mid lane, going to go for a push on the spawn lane. He's been trying to get at this turret the entire time, almost down right now, 180 health in the bottom lane, but CLG making a push on this mid turret, and I'm pretty sure they could take this if we don't see TF back out very shortly.
Well, Twisted Fate has taken that one.
Oh, he's pushing on. He's going for inhibitor turret now.
Yeah, why not? CLG going to try and do exactly the same here. As we have seen Insect getting rooted up there. He's got that Guardian Angel on him as well. So these fights basically got 20 players in them also by now. That's how many GAs we've got on the map. Here comes Jaxo, going to counter-strike in. Snoopy down to half HP. He's not actually used his ultimate yet. There was the Varus ulti not really connecting as they would have liked, but they may be able to pop that GA. No. Yeah, Twisted Fate coming from that backside. And they know that that was going to happen. As soon as he disappears, he's either back in or going to come in. Actually, Rumble ulti used there. And it's all about taking down this turret for CLG. Snoopy going to tank it up, and there is the inhibitor turret finally being picked up by Counter Logic Gaming EU. Question is now, what do? Do they go back towards Baron? There are not many wards there. In fact, CLG don't have any wards there. The problem being that they don't actually have any wards whatsoever in their arsenal right now. So they do need at some point to have a bit of a shopping trip back to get those wards, because they've been cleared out completely by CJ Entus, which means they might have to just hang around and keep a view on this Baron area themselves.
They have quite a bit of gold to spend as well.
Ulti coming out here, and actually Jackson's going to get in there as well. Twist of Fate coming down. That is Yellow Pete's Guardian Angel. Gonna be popped. Stun card already comes up. He gets destroyed as he comes back up from that Guardian Angel. And now what's CJ going to do? They're going to dive in on towards Snoopy. Counter-Strike is going to land. Stun card was already in. He uses that Guardian Angel to get over. The laser not quite connecting. Snoopy did die. I want to watch up this top side to see if they can get away, because Zeddy's coming in. Kinch taking a lot of damage. There's a counter-strike, stunning Froggen, who will flash over the wall. Got hit by Caitlyn already, and Froggen also going to get popped as he comes back up. Shut down by Jax. And that leaves us with 10 to 11. 3,000 gold there or thereabouts. And still a crazy, crazy match between these two sides. And CJ now looking to push down the inner turret on this top lane. They've got minions coming in from the back. They could even tank it up, to be honest, if they wanted there with that Jax, with the Nunu and Zed as well. But that is going to be turret number 5 for the Korean side.
And Joe, this is a very crucial point in the game. I mean, obviously it is, but we have death timers approaching and surpassing 50 seconds. CJ Entus starting Baron right now. We don't have Froggen up to potentially steal away. We do have Snoopy coming in, has that smite available, is level 13 to the level 18 Insect. There is no way he's going to be able to steal this.
Oh, and there is the Baron being taken down. Crepo forced to flash away. Did land the root onto Jax, which, to be honest, saved his life, because Jax would have been right in on top of him there as well. And that is Baron going over to CJ. So, bit of turtling time now for CLG EU. They probably know that they can't be affording to take these fights. They've got plenty of gold to get home and spend over 2,000 there on Jax. There's a pickaxe being picked up by Zed. Load of wards as well from the CJ side.
It's CLG though, turtling, they know how to do that very well.
They know how to do that, but
they don't have a Nivea, that's the thing. They have a Lux though.
I mean, they've got Lux with the EUs, can do good damage in there if you land a binding plus the laser coming out as well. You can do a lot of damage in those situations, but can they do it? Can she do it like a Nivea? I mean,
yeah. And Dada yet again going down to the spot lane, gonna keep pushing it, applying all this pressure on CLG, trying to split push. And that bottom inhibitor turret, I mean, it's under half health right now. He easily could get this by himself as long as the rest of CJ Entus doesn't get caught. Don't go down, but with those 2 GAs in hand right now, I'm pretty sure they can survive and engage, with Twist of Fate finally coming in with his ulti.
Yep, CJ starting to push, doing that good bit of chip damage. Wicked already losing quite a lot. There's the ultimate coming over, blocked again by Snoopy, which is pretty much just his shield. Jack's going to get rooted and binded in there, but you can see they... Normally, if the Jax gets rooted and bound down, they probably end up going for it in the end. Dade has managed to pick up that turret in the bottom lane. He's going to come away. Varus was forced to try and back down for that one, but this is going to give the inner turret away as well in favor of CJ. What's the next move out of the Korean side? There's a root coming down onto Kinch, who got that Zeke's Herald built in there, which, if Caitlyn didn't have enough attack speed already from a Zeal and Blood Boil going in there, well, that's just helping out a bit more. And obviously going to be moving up to a Phantom Dancer for that Zeal at some point. There's the binding coming down onto Kinch. Actually, the root coming in as well, but not trying to follow it up with anything else. CJ Entus now want this first inhibitor of the game. Can they take it? Are we going to see an engage? Yes, here we go then. Little Panda is going to go in there. Zyra ulti is actually going to do good work. It was Zhonya'd away. Snoopy actually going to use his ultimate to come in there. Twist of Fate goes down. CJ not super healthy in this one, but they're doing good damage nonetheless, as Long Panda is going to go in there for laser. Insect has his GA pop. Long Panda already had his Guardian Angel pop. Long Panda going to try and get away. There's the Caitlyn ultimate, which does decent damage to Wicked. Long Panda not going to get away. Froggen gets that one. Can they chase out for any more here? On towards Zed, Caitlyn, and Nunu.
Wicked, what is that?
That was a brilliant Zhonya's Wicked. That definitely saved something. I'm just not sure what it was at that point. As Insect here is being chased down by Snoopy. There's the laser from Froggen from the backside. And that will be another kill coming out for CLG. So as I was saying, this game, even though they just took Baron and got a good couple of kills, it's by no means over. CLG still have a good team to fight with at this point, and they're going to have a Dragon as well, which will bring that gold that bit more close.
Now we have a GA picked up on space. I mean, they managed to pop both those GAs before, only killing TF on the side of that. Stupe, perfect ultimate. Actually, Krep was one that led it with his ulti, and then followed it up with Malphite. So we have Froggen pushing that middle lane. Gotta be a little careful here. He doesn't want to get caught by Space, who, I mean, that attack speed is ridiculous. He does so much damage, and with that Malphite ultimate and the Krep ulti, they almost actually killed him just from those two alone, as he dropped it very low. But with that GA, obviously, not going to have too much of a problem after that. But we do have, for CLG, I mean, we have Froggen's GA coming up, we have Yellowpete's GA coming up.
And Froggen's moving in towards a full build here. I mean, Void Staff, Athene's Unholy Grail, GA, Rabadon's Death Cap. Got that second needlessly large rod to go in straight towards that Zhonya's to keep him safe. We've got, let me count those GAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 GAs. Which like means a 15-man fight. Yeah. It's a lot of GAs on this match. Which means the team fight's gonna be definitely extended in terms of how long they're gonna be taking place. Now CLG pushing back. That Baron buff is now already finished.
Yeah, they want to take
coming
advantage.
up at 44.50. So with CLG pushing up here, that's a good position to be in once that Baron does spawn. Oh, Zed waiting off in the shadows, Jason, as Zed does.
Well, not to mention, CLG wants to take advantage of these GAs being down and having theirs up, so they can force a fight here. They should be able to win it just with those extra 2 lives. As they are trying to catch Long Panda, but look how tanky he is. Has a Giant Spell, has a Hex Drinker just to help survive against this Lux. Halo Ultimate coming out, doing a little bit of damage to Crepple, but in the end, not too much. And I mean, we could see an engagement though. The bot lane for CLG is getting pushed against them as they have those super minions down there.
Yeah, that's something that they need to be really careful of when they're pushing out. I mean, that's double super minions now coming right in on towards the Nexus turrets, and they know they've got to go back. CJ knowing that as well, and that leaves us 1 minute and 50 seconds away from Baron. How long is it going to take for them to actually get down there? Because at that point, CJ can just say, well, let's get positional advantage now for Baron and just wait it out from that point. And super minions going to cause a distraction for CLG. In the end, not too dangerous to what they've got left at this current point. But when they're forced to back away towards Baron, they certainly could start to be.
Take a look at Insect CS, by the way. Approaching 300 as a jungler. He was 18 a long time ago when Snoop was level 13. That just shows like how much farming he's been doing. And the rest of their team, I mean, Jack's still ahead. We had Twist of Fate with with a big gap in the mid lane, but Caitlyn and Varus, I mean, pretty much dead even. So he's been definitely trying to keep up. He has that Bloodthirster, has that Last Whisper with the Brutalize on top of it. Obviously, this is Season 2 patch on Zed. This is before the rework, before percents happen, before that flat. So obviously, working against him a little bit, but we'll be able to into that Yuumi's eventually, as he wants to get a little bit more tanky just to survive these fights.
You know, in the early games when we talk about kill distribution as well, right now we'd be probably cursing the fact that out of the 13 kills for CLG, all 10 of them are actually with Froggen. But the point is, we're that far into it that pretty much everyone is getting up towards that full build kind of area. I mean, look at Yellow Pete on Varus. He's got 1 kill, 7 assists, got the Phantom Dancer, got the Last Whisper, got the GA, got the Bloodthirster. Like, at this point, it's only serving to make Froggen that ridiculously more powerful. I mean, next thing to come out of him is to sell his boots or something from that one. Get rid of Athene's and go for a second Death Cap or something ridiculous like that. But, you know, it's all about this next Baron, in my opinion. CLG can't afford to give it away for free, but they can't afford to take a bad fight either. So it's going to be a really tense moment for them. 44.50, which is actually it's already gone, if I could actually learn to read a clock. And CJ Entus are starting it out once again. And I'm not sure that CLG are going to be able to get over there to really do anything about it. Yeah, it's already dead. Oh, there was the laser. Not quite on target. That was very, very close though. But in the end, CJ get the Baron. And now CLG have to turtle again.
Yeah, the thing is, though, right now, I mean, their bottom inhibitor is going down to those 2 super minions. Whoever wins this next fight can pretty much win the game just because these death timers, they're going to be able to push down that mid lane for CLG, take down that inhibitor, and then pretty much tank up the next turret as long as Snoopy's alive with that 316 armies currently running.
And that's the thing, their team fights haven't been that bad here, and because of the death timers, if they manage to take 3, 4, or obviously get an ace is even better, but if they manage to pull that off here, they can literally run up the middle. It's not like they've not taken any towers up until now. Like, the inhibitor is open, so they could run straight in there and go for the finisher, but this is going to be a hard fight. All of CJ Entus, full HP, obviously that Baron buff running, there's a blue buff in there on Twist Twisted Fate as well. They've got 3 Guardian Angels in the team. Zed actually trying to come in from that top side, maybe even push a bit of those minions out, which, I don't know, would CLG go for a 4 versus 5 if they see Zed away from the team?
They should. I mean, last time they actually, last time CLG just had Baron, they pushed down this bottom lane, and CLG held it. I mean, lost their inhibitor, but they actually won the fight. And Snoopy can easily lead this engage with his ultimate. Zed gonna have a hard time getting around, but Yellowfeet actually defending in that top lane. GAs are up across the board.
Here we go, Long Panda actually did dive in there, but it's more to secure this one. Here comes the Rumble ultimate. Daddy is going to go very low. Actually uses his Zhonya's and flashes away, but the laser not quite connecting, and CLG might have blown their chances now with this one. Long Panda taking a lot of damage. His Guardian Angel won't get popped just yet, and that will be a 1-for-0. Snoopy out of the fight. I mean, his Malphite, once that ulti's gone down and he's used his Randuins, then it's pretty much game anyway. I mean, to have that Frozen Heart in there against Caitlyn would be a fantastic thing to have, but still the main reason that he's there is to get that ultimate down to give them the control. How's this one going to go from now? Here comes another laser. Long Panda gets his Guardian Angel pop. They can't follow up with anything. The Zed actually goes into the base as well. Yellowfeet going fairly low from this one, but CLG know that they can't afford, they need to stall until Snoopy comes out. They're turning on towards Insect. Can they finish him off? He gets rooted. His Guardian Angel not quite popped in the queue of Yellowfeet. Not going to connect in there to get that one off. Amazing, amazing stuff here. 15 seconds till Snoopy comes up. We're tied in kills. It's a decent gold lead. Oh, another snipe. And, well, didn't get the kill this time around, but definitely worth it for the cooldown that it has there from Froggen. But we are going to get into a slightly quieter period once again. CLG doing the job that they needed to do and holding on to as much of their base as they could. I mean, they've lost an inhibitor, which I think is pretty fair to against a Baron up team that's got a gold advantage.
Only an inhibitor off of that. And Joe, I'm trying to think. Yellowfeet has missed every ultimate this game. There might have been one in there, but every one I see him do at the moment has been a miss, and I really wonder how differently the team fights would go if he would actually have landed them. Oh, we do have Twisted Fate finished up a Lich Bane. His Zhonya has actually been amazing, if you've noticed, off Dade. So yeah, quite a bit.
The last one where he used his Zhonya's and then flashed out.
Yeah, the Zyra knocked
missed the Zyra ultimate. So what do we have left on Baron? Not CLG, very long.
CLG was able to keep their GAs alive, though. We still see Froggen, still see Yellowfeet with theirs up. They were able to pop Long Pandas, but we still see Caitlyn and we still see Zed with theirs alive at the moment. It's still going to cause a lot of problems, but I mean, as long as CLG can defend this, I mean, they're getting free farm at the bottom lane, which should be going over to Wicked. He needs to catch up just a little bit more. He has a lot of damage, surprisingly, with that full penetration build. He isn't doing a very subtle amount. And, I mean, the point of this game, it's 50 minutes in, CS doesn't really matter anymore. Kills don't really matter anymore. Goal lead really doesn't matter anymore. It's just about how well you fight as a team. And CLG, I mean, we've seen it. They have the ability to win these team fights. They just have to engage on their own terms.
And did they have the time for Baron? I'm trying to figure out after 50-minute game what happened there.
Because that was actually taken by CG Entus completely, was clean. And they weren't spotted at all. CLG just waited back. Froggen might have spotted it with his ulti.
Laser,
Yeah, might have spotted it.
Yeah, that's right. The Lux laser went in there at the end. So be interesting to see whether CLG will try and fight for this next one, because in my opinion, that area around Baron is a prime target for a CLG fight with the ultimates that they've got in there. With that Zyra ultimate, and it's a lot more closed in. Obviously, with having Snoopy in there to be able to get in, maybe Yellowfeet will actually land one if they're all stood together in there as well. And I mean, if that happens, well, that's just even more lockdown that they're going to have on their side. The problem that CLG have now is they have to slowly but surely edge their way towards the Baron, or they could just catch them here as the laser goes across. Kinch going very low, but it's not a kill. That's the crucial thing. They need wards down, they need vision here. They've got 2 oracles, as you do, just in case. I mean, what's Froggen going to spend his money on except a load of elixirs and oracles anyway? They need to get in there, and they need to get this vision sorted out in the top side of their jungle. We can see that Snoopy is in there, and they are getting that vision fixed up. 52 minutes and 11 seconds is when the next Baron comes up. That will be Baron number 3 as we approach the 51-minute mark of this Group B game at the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. Tense stuff, and it's all about who wins the next big fight, basically. We've seen how long those spawn timers are.
Yeah, and just to bring it back up again, I mean, CLG is fighting for their tournament. If they lose this game, they will be out. If CJ Entus wins it, they will automatically move on to the semifinals. So both teams really want to win this. Death timer is extremely long, just like you were mentioning. And look at total gold accumulated per player. We see Froggen almost 19,000 gold in this game. He's gonna break that 20 mark very shortly. And that is just, I mean, you don't even need farm anymore on him. You just want to give it to everyone else. And Wicked, I mean, he still has 2 slots open, unless he wants to get rid of, well, let's keep one open for the wards. You see Froggen, he's just not doing the damage he needs to anymore. We saw him catch Nunu there. Wasn't even able to burst him down from full to death. Took him down to about a 3rd life, but still a 3rd life is not a kill. And that's what they need Froggen to do. They need him to burst someone down so quickly that CJ just has to retreat.
30 seconds for Baron. Twisted Fate is in the bottom lane. Zyra and Malphite are going to come in to join CLG. I think they know that they need to be taking this fight now around that Baron area. And if they can't get Baron, they need to get away with their lives intact. They can't afford to be dying en masse in this Baron area. And now Twisted Fate continuing to push up. Baron is going to spawn in a couple of seconds time. CLG start to walk in. Trap walked into there by Crepo. You can see Twisted Fate on the minimap is working his way up. Will CLG go for Baron right now? Yes, they will. They're going to start it off. This is going to be it. This could be the final fight of this game. Let's get along to the Baron's HP. We can see he's down to half already. Where is the move going to come out? Here comes the Twisted Fate ultimate. Going to be popped, but is he going to join the team? He has to get up there at least, even if he doesn't jump in towards a fight. And that Baron is now down to 3,000 HP. Where's it going to go? 1,800 health left on it. There we go. Oh, and Zed steals away the Baron. But the Baron's ultimate has gone down onto Long Panda. They're a little bit spread out here, CLG. They need to get the ultis off in the right positions. There's the first kill. Dade does go down. Kakinch is low. The laser misses out of Froggen, but they pop Long Panda's GA. Here is Crepo in the back. He's going to fall to Zed. That's a double kill for him, but they're not done here, CLG. Are they going to push forward? They're probably going to go straight towards that inhibitor. I mean, why not? They've got to come all the way back. They've got 2 men down to 2. And again, we see that CLG, even without the Baron on in that fight, still managed to come out of it nicely. Yellow Pete had full HP. Froggen was pretty healthy. If that laser had have hit from Froggen, that could have been a different fight altogether. One thing that they can't afford to do here is overextend. It is a 2 versus 3. No. Oh, and Space is actually going to land the shot onto Yellow Pete. Can they chase up for him? Will they want to chase up for him right now? Doesn't look like it. And we will see CLG back off once again. My lord.
What's the longest game you've casted, Joe? 72 minutes or something?
Yep. And guess what? It was a CLG game.
Who would have thought? Maybe we'll break it today. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't much more to say. CLG is holding on to their these team fights very well. Their combination of CC is working perfectly. It's just these GAs are really giving them a problem. Dade didn't even get to pop his... Actually, no, he did pop his zonies in that fight. Did use it. But didn't matter in the end as they did blow him up immediately. The thing is he the target you really want to blow up right away? He doesn't seem to be doing too much damage in these team fights. I mean, you have a lot of magic resist built up currently for CLG. They want to maybe burst down Caitlyn. However, the GA, I mean, these fights are so long that CLG is going to be out of CC by the time they actually finally pick up these kills.
That's true.
I mean, because they're counting on it. They're counting to kill them in all of their CC, and with these GAs, it's impossible to do that. As long as CJ just holds on, is tanky enough to last that, then they should be able to win these fights. But we do have the auto inhibitor did go down while they're fighting at Baron, so CLG is going to have that pressure on them again. And Wicked has another blasting wand, 600 gold, finally working up towards his last item. I believe it will be a Rylai's. And even Snoopy picking up an Abyssal Scepter just for some extra damage.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they need all the damage that they can get. They need to get those GAs down as quickly as they possibly can. CJ, they're in a similar position, you know. There are 2 GAs in there. There are 3 Zhonya's Hourglass. So it's like everyone's got some sort of survivability in that case in the game. So a really insane position to be in now. I thought that was going to be the last fight. I was wrong, and I am really happy that I was wrong about that one. I'm happy that we're going to see at least one more coming into this one, because so far, 55.5 minutes into the game, absolutely fantastic matchup. 15-15 in kills. No one cares about gold anymore. The turret's 7-5 in favor of CJ Entus. That could be one thing that can really help them out to win this game, forcing them to, you know, deal with those super minions if we ever get down to them, pushing in for another inhibitor again. Here we go then. CJ looking to siege down that turret. They will take it out as well. And not a lot that CLG could do about that one. Are they going to be able to defend this inhibitor? will they want to defend this inhibitor? The Baron buff is pretty much run out now. Next Baron spawns 59-43. It'll be a good celebration when we hit the hour mark.
And Joe, you can see on the screen CLG right now. I mean, they look still so focused. And the thing is,
you've got to be. I mean, if approaching an hour game, how do you stay focused when you know that that tiniest little mistake can mean winning or losing, and in CLG's case, having a chance to move on or going home without winning anything? That's the real thing that you've got to think about in this game, the stamina that these players need to keep that concentration up, to keep playing at the same level, to keep communicating as well as they should, not to make mistakes, which you inevitably do when you start to get tired, when you start to lose your focus. And that's something that neither team here can afford to do in the run-up to this next Baron coming up, which is almost 3 minutes from this position.
I was mentioning CLG, I mean, because I'd be honest, they look so focused, but I actually saw a lot of fatigue currently for CJ Entus. Probably not used to these long, drawn-out games, but that's the thing. If you're going to play CLG, you got to be prepared for it. And this is CLG's territory. They do this time and time again, and they have the ability to keep that stamina up. And we will see, actually, a GA picked up on Dade right there. That is the 6th of the game.
Yeah, Zhonya's and a GA.
You just can't kill him. He's going to pop his Zhonya's and have his GA right after that. But they are still trying to keep these lanes shoved in. CLG doing a good job of keeping the lanes, well, inhibitor up in the mid. And the bot one's still down just for a little bit longer. And Joe, I really don't know how this next team fight's going to go. It really is anyone's game.
It really just depends, yeah, who gets in there and just lands everything. I mean, Snoopy just taking a bit of damage there. Actually dodged the wild cards in the end. Zyra taking a bit of damage here from Zed. Crepo actually falling a little bit lower than CLG would have wanted there. That's going to mean the inhibitor is picked up, but here comes the laser. There was the Varus ultimate, and they're going to go down. Snoopy actually already has used his ultimate here. That's a killer piece up until now. Insect going to be going low. They will manage to pick off Snoopy. Twisted Fate actually did pop his ultimate in there as well. We've got Jax on the top side. Here comes Twisted Fate. Going to flash in. That will be the GA of Frog and Pot. Are they going to be able to hold him down? Yes, they will. Double kill for Caitlyn. Wicked is now the last man left alive. Uses his GA here underneath, Zhonya's underneath the towers, but that will be the ace for CJ Entus. They're tanking the turrets up, but it won't matter. They're going to take him down. They'll take the Nexus, and they will knock CLG EU here out of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. A 58-minute, 40-second game. A brilliant, brilliant matchup, Jason.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I mean, CJ have to feel so great after that. We're going to be moving on to the semifinals along with Meteor Makers against Fnatic. Oh, and SK Telecom. I was like on the tip of my tongue right there. But such a long game, such a well-played game considering how long it lasted and how little mistakes were actually made.
I can't even remember what happened in the early game, Jason. I was just thinking about that just
Wicked
then.
got camped.
It was quite a long... Yeah, Wiki got camped out of the game in the end. And actually, you can see Frog, well, you can't see on your screen, but he actually sold all his items and bought 5 GAs at the end, which you obviously do. But yeah, a really fantastic game. Sad times for CLG EU. They can't go through now with Meteor Makers being on 2-0, with CJ Entus being on 2-0, which means our last game will be Meteor Makers versus CJ Entus. Those two teams going to be fighting to figure out who finishes first, who plays second, which actually equates to who plays against Fnatic and who plays SK Telecom T1 in the semi-finals, which will be starting tomorrow here on ESL TV at 2 o'clock. So that will be our next game coming up. Obviously, we have the Cool Kids desk, who have probably got about 400 replays ready to show you after that one. There's Crepo and the rest of CLG EU just going over to shake the hands of CJ Entus, as they do, showing great sportsmanship as per usual here at the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. And Jason, a fantastic matchup. I mean, 20-17 in kills by the end.
That's nothing for almost a 60-minute game. And both teams trying to stand off. And I was really surprised that CJ just held on, because CLG had such a strong team fight with all that CC they had. But, you know, running those assassins, dragging the game out, building a little bit tanky, and those GAs, that was the key. I mean, like we were saying during the match, if CLG couldn't kill them within their CC, then they weren't going to be able to actually take them out.
So we can see CJ there, almost a full bottle of water going down their necks, because, well, it gets pretty warm in here.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
was a 58 minutes and 39 second long game. You can probably see the sweat on my head. That was the whole advantage of the long hair. It's like hide the sweat, and then your hair starts to get wet, which is even worse looking. But now I don't have that problem anymore. Jason, you will learn the secret and shave that one off at some point in the future. But that is our analysis, albeit short and sweet. We're going to throw it over to the experts who are going to break it down.
I was crying. In honor of CLG EU, we had to do the stare just once.
We never got the stare. We got it once.
Yeah.
He walked across, but that's it. We didn't even get the Snoopy stare. And CLG are out of the tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Big, big news. Is it a shock news, though? I'm not sure, because they've not played that well.
So what I said in the beginning of the day to you...
Thought you'd do your shirt up for us.
Go ahead.
It was a bit hard.
For me, the question
we were
was...
together a bit hard, you know what I mean?
For me, the question was, is CLG EU going to be as weak as some people are saying they are at the moment? And the answer seems to be, yeah, they kind of are.
I pretty much think like they played the OGN, they were really strong. Then they come to the European Championship, they were really strong. They went to LA and they were really strong, but you cannot be all the season at your highest level. And these are like the moments, almost Christmas, almost holidays, that you probably underperform more. And
I remember they only came into this one as a sub as well. They were the last minute sort of, they were going home for Christmas.
Yep.
And suddenly they're back here. But we have, as Joe said, a lot of replays to go through there. There's quite a lot going on. So we started off 2010. It was actually a Drake fight going on. And it came out on top for CLG here. This was the start. You can see it's 5-4. It's already pretty even in gold.
We had two team fights on mid-game, on minute 20 and minute 27 on Drake. It was really nice for CLG, but then in late game, surprisingly, they lost it. We see this team fight where CG Entus get the Drake, but instantly CLG played perfectly. They Lux with the ultimate, now he kills Jax, almost kill, it was Insect, set, exactly. And then at the end of the team fight, they just clean up Lux and Varus, they clean Nunu, and they get another one, I think it was. It was a 3-4-1. It was Caitlyn right now. I want to see, just before the team fight, something we didn't saw it. It was the ultimate of Varus.
Yes.
A bit before, please.
Yes.
Earlier.
Yep. It's going
right now.
A little bit.
We see.
Yeah.
We see Varus gonna try to ultimate
down.
TF,
That camera work. That
and
camera
he
work.
instantly flashed to stop that because he was gonna die.
Here we go.
Instantly, and he has to flash it. And that's why TF in the team fight, he's really far ahead because he don't want to join a team fight without flash. That's the first team fight that CLG come up to the game, start the comeback, and then at minute 27 is the second team fight that they really dominated and they get into the game again, because the early game it was really snowball. We saw how many ganks on Wicked.
There was a lot of fights throughout the whole thing.
It was stupid how many ganks they did.
But it was 0-3 and they just kept planting on him. But it also gave the rest of the lanes opportunity to get away with it. But again, it was a big team fight. Kicks in around about 27-12, I believe it is.
It's a bit later.
And again, this is for CLG coming from the side here this time around. Well, I mean,
and here we go. That's a team fight. Well, Jax tried to initiate, but they flash away, and we see everyone from CG Entus joining, but nothing they can do from that Zyra ultimate, that Malphite ultimate, that Rumble ultimate. That three ultimates destroy the team fight, making all of them almost dying. And here we have TF teleporting just right at the right of the team and killing another one Zyra, but then dying to Lux again.
I mean, is that ever worth it? Going for the support, using your ulti to get in there, and then giving an assist and a kill to...
And a kill to Lux.
Yeah, and support to across the whole team as well. It's
who was already 7-1-2 at this point.
It was pretty much, the early game was dominated by the CG Entus just ganking Wicked. We saw like probably 5-6 ganks in 6 minutes.
It was 0-3 or
10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. And even that they ganked him so much, we saw, I think it was in minute like 5, a really failed gank that Jax could kill Wicked, the second gank, but he tried to stun and he failed the stun.
Yeah.
It was the second kill, but they kind of failed it. But even of that,
there was a few words used by yourself when it happened. Yeah, you were a little bit surprised
so many times.
So if we move on about 9 minutes to 36:30, we can see this is where Pete got caught out, and really it started the snowball for CJ.
The biggest snowball
this was kind of the big turn.
Start here, right? It was Jax trying to get Pete and TF ultimate. Pete, I guess he didn't expect that TF jump in right straight, but we'll see it right now. He's just farming and TF flash, jump, stun, and get down in 1 second. He couldn't do anything.
And this was the start of the snowball, we thought. This is where CG Entus started turning. You can see it was 9-9, with just 2k gold between them.
Another kill right now.
They get 3 kills back-to-back off this. So Snoopy having to use his ultimate to get away.
Froggen could save Rumble, but he's still... No, he could save Malphite,
He could have used the shield.
Exactly.
Instead, he just carried on sniping and fighting, and then Froggen gets caught out as well.
And then something also interesting is like Seth, in every team fight, he was never with the team. We never saw Seth Insect with the team. He was always at the left of the full team. Was impressively played by Seth. I think he was, for me, the MVP of the team.
And that's exactly what you want to do with this sort of assassin type. We did a little bit of math once at one point. I don't remember what point of the game it was, but we did the math, and his combo with the ultimate would have done around 2,200 damage. So
exactly.
You would have easily killed someone with that dude. We are not that used to seeing him quite yet, but he is very strong.
Yeah, and then we got the Baron push, which is really where it really started to turn. 40-30, I think it was. CJ Entus on the Baron. They pushed it, and then they went for the in here. They went straight in there. They'd already picked it up. We're going to switch across to that one. And this is, you can see they've already got the Baron, and this is where they're starting to show for the inhib. But CLG, they tried to get back into it here.
This was a little bit...
That's the point.
That's the
Sonia's.
We don't quite know why the Sonia's...
Yes.
I think Joe Miller had an idea why he used
It was something that Wicked had going on, but I don't think it was the right key.
There you go. Jax jumping on Jello Pit instantly, but he get crushed, and he get the full team with Syra ultimate and Malphite ultimate out of the team fight. It was really good play by CLG, but still, it was Naso on CG Entus, and it was
it was
1 for 2?
It was a 3 for 1 for CLG, actually. CLG pick up the kills. They chase it out here as well. They managed to get a few kills.
Really beautiful,
you can see Long Panda
really
going
beautiful
down
team
again.
fight from CLG. Thinking about CG Entus had Baron. That's really nice. Really nice play by CLG.
And that was kind of where
that's the Sonias.
They could have came back into it.
Put it, please.
All right. Let's listen to the sound.
I would like Wicked to explain what was that. I think he was just trying to impress us.
I'm pretty sure that's a biscuit.
I don't think so.
He's pretty shy.
It was all planned.
What else has he got? Well, what's he maybe trying to press here? What's he got in his bag? Where is he?
Nothing. It's just
no, he just pressed 6 randomly.
Maybe he wanted to walk.
I'm not sure what. Maybe there was something else in there.
Instead of Q, he pressed the 1. He was trying to go...
Oh, was it on his 1 slot? It looked like his 6 slot.
No, it's 1. Q. The first one in the items on the spectator is the 1.
I wasn't looking there. Oh, okay.
This
is spectators. And you're spectating, guys.
We never covered the game. We got one last one as well, of course. It is the Baron steal. 52-15, exactly. Yeah, the very last spell. And really...
Yeah, maybe you should
even get this.
Yeah, maybe you should talk us through that as a jungler, as I try to hit the right button.
52-15,
almost. Yeah. Maybe as a jungler, talk us through exactly how this kind of thing can happen. A bit before, you sure?
52-15, 50 a little bit after.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, just talk us through how this kind of thing can happen for your team. Oh, because now they are going in.
Yep.
And they're starting to do Baron right now. All right.
I mean, he didn't even use the smite. It was nothing. So you can see him off the side. There's the TF. He wants full vision. They pull out the Baron. So you can see the Baron. If you keep the Baron highlighted, if you can see the hit points of it.
You want to
select the Baron. Select the Baron. And there's the Shadow. Boom, straight in.
The main problem is like Malphite has not a single high damage ability. It's, for example, Listen. With Lee Sin is like the easiest champion to steal a Baron. You Q, and with the end of the Q, before the end of the Q lands, you can smite it, and the Q is going to do insanely damage.
So is that a case
heroes like Nunu, it's the same. You can smite and Q at the same time. And Seth has impressive damage with the items. He has Bloodthirster, he has Last Whisper, he had, it was Jomus, almost Jomus brutalized in this case.
So basically, because the rest of COG were pulled out,
of course,
he was stood there waiting to smite it, but there was no other damage going on it. So Zed just gets in, uses his own damage and the smite.
He had Flash. If he could not use the W to jump in, he could use Flash, Q, or E, and smite it. And it's highest chances to get it from Zed because he has more damage than Malphite.
He simply couldn't. I mean, if Snoopy would have used Smite, it would have done nothing. It wouldn't have killed it.
Of course not.
There wasn't enough
It's more
damage on it.
from
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Simply a case of that, and that is really what turned it for them, because that was a 2-for-2 fight. Following that, they went on, managed to get the kills. Of course, the inhib's already down. So fantastic play by CJ Entus, and coming up next will be CJ Entus versus Meet Your Makers. But first, we do have an interview with CJ Entus. So let's get over to Zoe and the translator.
Thank you very much, guys. I once more have Hun joining me for the translation, and of course we also have a player which is going to be Insec, one of the most outstanding players throughout that game, playing Zed, which was very unusual. So let's talk a little bit about the picks and bans right to begin with. Let's just say, I just would like to know from him what made them choose their composition based on like having such a CC-heavy team against him.
이제 선수 팀에서 CJ 엔투스 팀에서 챔피언을 픽한 것들에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 하고 왜 셋을 선택했는지. 네.
자, 우리가 가장 자신 있는 미드에 트위스트 페이트를 뽑았고, 그리고 탑은 잭스라는 요즘 한창 탑에서 좋은 챔프를 뽑고 봇에서 원하는 챔프를 뽑았기 때문에 제가 정글 요즘 연습하고 있는 제드를 픽해서 EU 상대를 한번 써보자고 해서 픽하게 됐어요.
Actually, the hero Zed, which is not really played in big tournaments, he practiced it a lot, and he felt like the hero is very good, and he likes that hero, so he played that. And in mid, it was like twisted. Yeah, and yeah, that's actually he played a lot. Zed.
Right, it seemed to work out very well for you guys. So let's talk a little bit about the early games. You guys went for a lot of ganks on top lane and kind of shut down Wicked. Was that planned initially, or did you just decided on whatever, like how the game evolved and unfolded?
이제 초반에 위켓 선수 상대편 위켓 선수를 많이 타겟팅해가지고 죽였는데 그게 원래 이렇게 계획했었는 건지.
네, 초반에 갱을 가서 퍼스트 블러드를 딴 뒤에 위키드 선수의 와드 위치를 발견하였고 이렇게 지속적으로 찌를 수 있는 상황이 나와서 지속적으로 탑에 가게 됐습니다.
After the first blood, which worked on Wicked, they knew that the top lane was a bit weaker, and they knew where the wards were, so they focused on the top lane, harassing it and going further in the game.
Right, so I mean, even though you've been ahead for like a good portion of the game, it really started to be a big back and forth after like the CLG guys came back into the whole game and kind of kept up with kill-wise and also the turrets. You guys dragged it into a really longer games, getting those GIs, which really were a key factor afterwards. Did you want to drag it for such a long game, as CLG is known to be a very good turtle team, and they actually enjoy longer games a lot. Did you plan to do that initially, or did you just kind of were forced to do so?
이제 게임 전체를 봤을 때 엄청 장기전으로 끌고 갔잖아요, 게임을. 근데 그거를 일부러 처음부터 생각하고 있었는지, 왜냐하면 CLG 팀은 또 장기전을 잘한 팀으로 알려져 있는데 그걸 뭐 생각하고 했는지.
저희가 초반에 이득을 많이 보고 이게 CLG EU가 또 후반을 가면 많이 잘하니까 초반에 좀 빨리 끝내려다가 잦은 실수가 나와서 좀 장기전으로 좀 된 것 같습니다.
Actually, after the first blood and after the kills in the early game, they wanted to end the game very fast, but they did a few mistakes, so they could only go to the later game.
All right, well, you guys still won, and that means you're actually through, and you're going to be in the playoffs, where Fnatic and also SK Telecom T1 is waiting for you guys. I know you guys played against the other Korean team, but how about Fnatic? Have you ever faced them, or is that going to be like the first time for you guys?
이제 플레이오프 진출을 했는데 다음 플레이오프에서는 SK도 있고 페네틱도 있는데 페네틱에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지, 벌써 게임을 했었는지 상대로.
파티에 대해서는 아직 좀 당장 눈앞에 이유를 생각해서 아직 생각해 본 적은 없어요.
Actually, they didn't really think about playing in the playoffs against Fnatic, so they don't actually have any clues about that.
Well, I guess you guys gonna figure it out sooner or later. And one last question for you guys. You're gonna go up against Meet Your Makers in just a bit as well. They've been very, very strong within the last few tournaments, and also in this tournament they showed why they are actually one of the top teams in Europe. You any scared going up against them, or are you feeling confident?
이제 다음 상대는 MIM인데 MIM이 이제 다른 토너에서도 좋은 성적을 내고 이번에 와가지고 엄청 좋은 성적을 내고 있는데 다음 상대로서 어떻게 생각하는지.
네, 지금 당장 저희 가장 강한 팀이라고 생각하고 지금 IEM에서 지금 픽밴을 잘 짜고 있습니다.
He thinks that MIM is one of the best teams here in IEM Cologne, and they are already thinking about the pick and bans in the next games.
And that one is about to start, so I'll let you get back to that. Once more, give it up for CJ Entus, who did provide us with one of the most entertaining games as of now. So thanks a lot for joining me, and of course, good luck in the next game. We're gonna throw it over to a quick commercial break, and afterwards we're gonna be back with our community talk together with Nazroth and also X Peke, or also only Peke.